Well, as Mike just said, the situation in Iraq could be an issue for the U.S. markets. Iraqi forces gathered north of Baghdad today, preparing for a pushback to cut off Sunni rebels from reaching the capital. As a result, oil prices were relatively stable. Brent crude fell a fraction, but the U.S. benchmark West Texas crude was up about 0.75%, topping $107, the highest level since September. Michelle Caruso-Cabrera is in Iraq and has more on what could impact the oil market.
Islamic jihadists may not be the biggest threat to the unity of Iraq. Believe it or not, it may be this, an oil refinery. This is not the Beiji refinery in the news for the last 3 days because it's under assault from the rebels. No, this facility is 3 hours away in the Iraqi region of Kurdistan.
This is Kurdistan's largest refinery. It processes 90 to 100,000 barrels of crude oil a day into kerosene for cooking, gasoline, diesel, and also fuel for the power grid.
The refinery is emblematic of Kurdistan's push to create its own oil industry and stands in sharp defiance of the Iraqi central government.
This is our crude oil, and we should get benefit to our Kurdish people.
Kurdistan is a semi-autonomous region of Iraq, and the Kurdish people have long dreamed of having their own independent country. They think they should be able to drill for the billions of barrels of oil in the ground beneath them. Their plan is to pump 1 million barrels per day by next year, with the help of companies such as ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Gazprom, which have exploration contracts. But Baghdad says all these moves are unconstitutional. Kurdistan's Minister of Foreign Affairs thinks otherwise.
Kurdistan region laws have supremacy. So therefore, we are the legitimate authority in this region. Whatever we do here is legal and constitutional.
Kurdistan doesn't have just wells and refineries. They've gone as far as building a whole new pipeline buried underground here because the Iraqi government won't let them use the one right across the border. It connects to a port in Turkey. When Kurdistan loaded up its first ever tanker with 1 million barrels of crude, it was front page news here. The headline reads, "Now Kurdistan will have its own economy."
Kurdistan struggled to sell the oil because Baghdad threatened to sue anyone who bought it. In fact, at one point, there were 3 tankers of Kurdish oil floating out in the ocean, 1 million barrels of oil on each. That is, until today. Reuters reports they were finally able to unload 1 tanker in Israel.
Minister Mustafa says it won't be long for the other 2 because the world needs more oil.
It will be sold, and there is no legal dispute. We are determined to go down that road, and that would be a new age in the history of the Kurdish people.
Substantial oil revenues, say experts, will be a key step to Kurdistan independence. But already, the region's newspapers are redrawing the map of Iraq, where Kurdistan stands alone. For Nightly Business Report, Michelle Caruso-Cabrera, Northern Iraq.